Commemoration of Generation Jones, or the members of the Boomers. That's it, man. All right. Happy 211 Day. I mean, it's not really anything because it wasn't a band 211. There's a band 311. So, in March, I'll say it's Happy 311 Day. But today's not that day. Today's 211. So, we're headed toward, hey, just remember, today's Wednesday, but 2 days, Friday the 13th. Okay, so Friday the 13th. So I got to write Nostradamus into my birthday wishes today. Nostradamus, 63. Nostradamus. There you go. You'll get an actual shout out. Yeah, that's true. March 14th, Pi Day. Yeah, there is Pi Day. Right? The millennial goat, born at the end of 1990. Yeah, wow, there you go. All right, outstanding. All right, very, very good. Outstanding. All right, well, tonight we've got some stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about, the normal stuff, some history stuff. But we also got something about the Pogues, Britney, and Nirvana. So welcome to Randsanity, episode 255. Tomorrow will be 256, and then it'll be 100 days to doing this one full year. That's crazy to think that I've been doing this almost a fucking year every night. God, what happened to me? I have no fucking life. Like I'm zooming home after concerts. I do this. It's just, crazy stuff. Normal stuff. What is normal? I don't know what normal is. That is correct. There is no normal. I am Abby. Abby Normal. If you know that movie reference right there, Abby. What did this brain say? It was Abby. I burn out easily. All right, well, JR, if you burn out, man, I get it. You come back and forth when you want to. I totally get it. But I mean, look, if you have attention deficit hyperactivity, I'm HDHD hyperactive. I was diagnosed that as a kid. So, you got to use it as your advantage. Bunny knows it. That's how you work it. You just got to use it to your advantage. Just keep going. Write shit down. If someone forgets, just tell them to remind you. All right, well, go ahead. Let's start it up today with Kurt Cobain's death labeled homicide by an independent investigation. The police are not going to reopen the case. Oh, that's nice. You're saying age right until March the 8th. All right. So I read this the other day, and I read the whole thing, this conspiracy theorist kind of thing. And so Kurt Cobain died more than 30 years ago from a self-inflicted shotgun in Seattle. Now a group of independent researchers have claimed that they've gathered enough evidence to prove that Cobain's death was a homicide. It's not a new idea, but these conspiracy theorists have speculated this for years. But these guys, this unofficial private sector team of forensic scientists have undertaken a new investigation. They've released Cobain's autopsy results, as well as crime scene materials. They also brought a specialist named Brian Burnt. He's previously assisted with investigations involving lots of traumas by drug overdose. The independent research, Michael Wilkins told the Daily Mail that after 3 days of looking over the reports, 3 whole days, this is a homicide. We've got to do something about this. Wilkins went on in detail about his team believes what happened. She said the signs around Cobain's death are not consistent with an instantaneous gunshot. The independent researchers believe that one or more assailants confronted Cobain and forced an overdose of heroin into his body. Then, when he was incapacitated, they shot him, and then the gun was placed in his arms. Finally, the assailants left behind a fake suicide note to throw everybody off the trail. I mean, Occam's razor, right? The simplest solution's the correct one, and that seems super simple. There are things in the autopsy that go, well, wait, this person didn't die very quickly of a gunshot blast, Wilkins stated. She cited organ damage from oxygen deprivation. And the rationale for this is the necrosis of the brain and the liver happens in an overdose. It doesn't happen in a shotgun death. To me, it looks like someone staged a movie and wanted us to be absolutely certain that this was, I can't really even go on. I'm just like, all right, just... I can start over. I can totally start over. Yeah, messy. So, basically, the statement added, our office is always open and reinvestigates conclusions of new evidence. Comes to light, but we've seen nothing to date when we're reopening the case from our previous determination of death. That's the Kings County Medical Examiner. So they're just like, yeah, no. They're not going to do this. We're not going back there. So, yeah, so that's, it's definitely been conspiracy theory for years. But now, again, these independent forensic people have come up after 3 days of hard research. That's what we came up with. So, I don't know. Regardless, Kurt is gone, and he will not be resurrected, whether it was intentional or whether it was not. All of that. So, you tell me, what are your theories on this whole thing? Because I'd love to know. I mean, it's tragic. Let's leave it at that, okay? All right, so I could jump to history or I could jump to Britney. Let's go to Britney, just because. So, it sounds like Britney Spears just scored herself a serious windfall of cash. According to TMZ, the iconic pop star has sold off the rights to her entire music collection. TMZ reports that it obtained legal documents showing that Britney sold her share of her catalog to the music publishing company Prime Wave. It's not clear exactly how much the sale was worth, but TMZ called it a landmark deal. The estimated figure is somewhere around $200 million. Britney. According to the documents, the sale was finalized on December 30th. TMZ sources stated that Spears is happy with the outcome and has been spending time with her sons to celebrate. Yeah, probably on private islands with private jets. So it looks like she sold all of it. The list is pretty extensive. Baby, one more time, break the ice, circus, don't let the person know, everything, give me more, hold it against me, I want to go. If you seek Amy, I'm a slave for you, no girl, lucky, miss prerogative, blah, 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 blah. Toxic, womanizer, you drive me crazy. I mean, all of it. The whole thing. So Britney is far from the first of the music industry to sell her ownership. Justin Bieber did it. Bruce Springsteen did it. They made similar deals. Slipknot did it. The Deftones did it. There's a bunch. The Deftones sold the majority of their stake from the music catalog to Warner Music Group. All the members were part of it, except for one were part of the deal. Those were sold seeking a mid to high double-digit multiple for the rights of the songs. No specific time frame was disclosed, but Deftones deal reportedly happened sometimes in the past couple of years. Slipknot, 2025, they made a deal with Harborview Equity Partners to sell their publishing and royalty rights. After 25 years of taking on the music business, we find ourselves with a partner that is willing to sign into continuing with Slipknot started. Sean Clown Conan said of the deal only that they want to go even bigger and get ready to hail the knot. They didn't disclose, but they said that's in the range of $120 million. So, look, she will shave her head again. I don't know what she's going to do, but, it's big money. I mean, Bruce sold his. There's a lot of artists that have sold huge chunks of their catalogs. And again, it's a lot of these equity partners, these private equity groups, because, they want to be able to capitalize this stuff. That's why if you don't own the album and you want to get it from, I don't know, one of your favorite streaming platforms, well, we'll see. It's not going to be released out there. Or, if it is, they want to make the money. Because the artists aren't going to get the money regardless from the streaming services, so they might as well cash it out. And I've always said that. That's why you see these bands that have to tour forever. The Stones are touring. Journey's going to tour. Kansas is going to tour. These guys are in their late 70s, still touring. Think about that. They don't want to do that. No one wants to tour that late in life. But, if that's the only way they make the money to pay those gigantic bills for their gigantic mansions, private jets, and extravagant lifestyles, hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more. Because, merchandise is where they make the money. Ticket sales make the money. because they're not making it from the music. Unfortunately, that's it. Oh, Nostradamus. I can prove with self-destruction. She woke up and figured Courtney Love wanted to reunite. Oh, wah. Courtney. She gets a bad rap. Well, because she, she's a train wreck. So Brittany's selling it out, making some cash. But that's all right. Good for her. She deserves a little happiness. Come on. She was under the thumb of her dad for all those years, in a conservatorship. Everyone was, taken. Poor Brittany didn't have any control. Now she gets some control and she gets some cash. So who knows? Maybe she'll have a residency at the Sphere next or something. I don't know. The Britney Spears Comeback Tour 2027. Oh, man. Because she was Courtney Love. It's true. Maybe Courtney did it, right? For the insurance money? No. The rest of the band did it? Yeah, no longer makes money from. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When they say, yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, true. But, 200 million still goes a long way these days, Just saying. Still goes a long way. All right, let's see what happened on this day. Elvis Presley appears on American TV stage and performed Heartbreak Hotel and Blue Suede Shoes in 1956. In 1979, Elvis appeared on ABC television, and 43 million people watched Elvis in 1979. 1979, that's a lot of people if you think about watching TV in 79. That's a huge rating share. I mean, that had to have been like the number one thing that was on TV up to that point. That's nuts. 43 million watching Elvis on TV. Are you lonesome tonight? Oh, let's see. Beatles. I'm not going to read the Beatles stuff. I just don't care about that one right there. Just not going to do it. This one we'll read about because the Beatles just landed in America in 1964 and they made their live concert debut in the U.S. in Washington Coliseum, where over 350 cops had to surround the stage to keep the 8,000 plus screaming fans in control. One police officer who found the noise so loud stuck a bullet in each ear as earplugs. The Beatles had to stop 3 times to turn Ringo's drum kit around and reposition their microphones so they faced a different part of the audience. The set list included Roll Over Beethoven, From Me to You, I Saw Her Standing There, This Boy, All My Loving, I Want to Be Your Man, Please Please Me, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Twist and Shout, and Long Tall Sally. I never got the Elvis thing either, but, some people do. He's all right. I listen to Elvis. I don't hate on Elvis, but, I'd rather listen to the Monkees or Johnny Cash. Come on, man. The Man in Black. Seriously. But Elvis isn't horrible. I guess it's just, that gyrating in his hips and, Elvis the pelvis, and chicks just dug it. I think it was a thing that just didn't generate the same excitement with the male audience. Just saying. 1967, the Monkees set a new record with their second album. More of the Monkees jumped from number 122 to the top of the U.S. charts. The album then stayed in the pole position for 18 weeks. Another Pleasant Valley Sunday. 1972, Led Zeppelin scored their third U.S. top 20 hit with Black Dog, Misty Mountain Hop, peaking at 15 from their fourth album. The song's title is a reference to a nameless black Labrador retriever that wandered around the Headley Grange studios during recording. Robert Plant recorded his vocals for the track in 2 takes. I do like that because I've talked about and read that before. That's like, right, they named it Black Dog because the dog just strolled on in. Yo, Black Dog, what's up? There you go. Name the song that. That's kind of it. Yeah, no shade. I get it too. Cash, Elvis, every day. There you go. Man in Black, dude. I'm telling you, Johnny Cash. That's some good stuff. But yeah, no, I didn't think. Yeah, there was no shade thrown for that. But right. I don't get. Like I said, I don't get country music. I don't hate on it per se. It ain't my thing, man. I just can't do it. I don't feel it. Like I said, Lord Huron, who is going to play at a country fest here in Columbus, I'm going to go because I want to catch Lord Huron's set. But I can't do it, man. I just don't. It doesn't move me. It doesn't move me. Put me in front of the Smiths or the Clash or the Zeppelins or the Monkees. I'm there. I can do it. But that's not my thing, man. But anyway, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. Like David Bowie, for instance. He released Sounded Vision as a single, which was taken from his latest album, Low, in 1977. It was used by the BBC in the UK on trailers at the time, providing considerable exposure, much needed as Bowie opted to do nothing to promote the single himself and help the song to number 3 on the UK charts, which, again, he was accused of that BBC in the UK went ahead and gave him undue exposure. So those other artists were jealous about that. But yeah, give me David Bowie all day long. Heard a Johnny Cash song, not Nine Inch Nails. Well, that's right. Well, we know that. I mean, come on. They copied that one. That's a cover, But it's amazing how many bands, when I go back and I look at some of these songs that, I can see when a song was written. And I'm like, holy shit, that song was written like 30, 40 years before it was ever popularized. And you're like, okay, that's a cover. They didn't write that. And not even knowing, because I've never heard the original. So I'll go find the original, listen to it and be like, okay, wow, doesn't sound like it. There's a bunch of Led Zeppelin songs, but lots of artists pick up other bands from years ago. There's no new music, just like there's no new ideas. They're just recycled. I saw a video the other day, which made me laugh. It was these two guys basically saying that 4 chords are every song ever. And the one guy was just playing the 4 chords, and this other guy just sung a medley of songs, and it was absolutely brilliant. And I was just like, oh my God. I was like, this is so funny because it's so true. He just was playing the same 4 chords, and this guy was singing song after song after song after song just to these chords. And you're like, oh my God, you're right. These are all like, they just use the same 4 chords. So yeah, I think I was listening. It might have been on NPR. I was in the car. But it might have been a video. But yeah, I mean, I'll see if I can find it. But it's so doing it, I'm so over bro country. It's just rattling up American. Right. Axis of Awesome. All right. What's Axis of Awesome, dude with dog? I want to know. Explain Axis of Awesome to me. That's what I want to know. Oh yeah. Okay. It's the 1/4. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's again, if you can find this video, it was brilliant. These two guys, this guy just singing these songs when it was just playing the same chords. I was like, okay. I was like, right on, man. Made me laugh because I was like, how true is this? So that's the way it works. 1985, The Police, not the gun-carrying kind, who I dealt with on Monday, won Outstanding Contribution to British Music at the 4th Annual Brit Awards held in London. Other winners included Prince for Best International Act and Best Soundtrack for Purple Rain. I'll go with that. Let's see. British single was Frankie Goes to Hollywood with Relax. British video was Duran Duran for Wild Boys. Okay. British comedy recording, Neil, Hole in My Shoe. British album went to Sade for Diamond Life. British male solo won by Paul Young. British female artist Alison Moyet. And British group went to Wham. Okay, 1985, Wham. In 1987, the Smiths were number 1 in the UK indie charts with Shoplifters of the World Unite. The title alludes to the communist slogan, Workers of the World Unite, and the 1966 David and Jonathan hit Lovers of the World Unite. The photograph on the sleeve is of a young Elvis Presley. The Smiths using the image iconic Elvis. Young Elvis Presley. It could be about Winona Ryder, Shoplifters of the World Unite. I mean, Just saying. Just saying. Now, didn't we talk about Vince Neil the other day? We did. We talked about Vince Neil getting kicked out of Motley Crue because he wanted to basically get more money. I got to change the camera. See, I caught it this time. So no pilot error tonight. I actually caught the camera, so look at that. So I can do that and then go back over here. And I didn't have the camera fade to black tonight without me wanting it to. But in 1992, apparently Vince Neil was fired by Motley Crue when he turned up for rehearsals claiming that he had lost his passion for the band and was now more involved with racing cars. Jackass. Just saying. Just, what are you going to do? All right, Bernie Taupin. That's the musician, writer for Elton John. In 1998, the handwritten lyrics to Candle in the Wind was auctioned off at Christie's in Los Angeles for $395,000. So almost $400,000 for the lyrics, the handwritten lyrics. The lyrics begin with the famous first verse, "Goodbye, Norma Jean, though I never knew you at all." The name Norma Jean, which is, of course, Marilyn Monroe, which had been crossed off on the sheet. The song appears to have been titled Marilyn Monroe, which appeared in uppercase handwriting on the top of the right first page, but crossed off. The original version appeared on Elton John's 1973 album Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and was released as a single in 1974. So yes, someone spent $400,000 for a piece of paper that's not the Declaration of Independence or the Bill of Rights. Maybe it was the Magna Carta. I don't know, but still, holy shit, that's a lot of money for a piece of paper. Won't Squeeze be mentioned? Was it? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Is that it? The 4-chord song? Oh, Axis of Awesome is the band. Okay, I didn't know, but I didn't know if it was that band that did it, but it was just these two guys. But it was great. Maybe it was Axis of Awesome. I will look that up because it was really, really good. I was like, holy shit, and it was recent, but it was very funny. I definitely thought it was pretty funny. So, sponsorships are always a tricky subject. Anytime you want to do an event, you got to find sponsors to pay for it because, ticket sales aren't what you can do. So apparently in 2000, the Spice Girls appeared in court to give evidence over the dispute with Aprilia Motorcycles. The company was suing the Spice Girls for $2.72 million over lost advertising as sponsors for their 1998 Spice World Tour. And I didn't say that wrong. It's Spice World Tour. So yeah, getting sued by sponsors is never a good thing because you probably sucked then or did something or blew it up. But yeah, that's not how that works. Not great. The BPI, the British Phonographic Institute, reported its biggest sales decline in decades in 2003, with the biggest slump in a single year since the birth of the CD market in 1980. Piracy, illegal duplication, and distribution by international criminals of CDs were all blamed for this decrease. So 2003 was at the lowest. We kind of went down the tubes then, and that's when I think streaming started to, everyone was stealing shit. Happens, man, it happens. Oh, Paul McCartney's biggest regret in life was in 2008 when he appeared in the High Court of London for a hearing to reach the final financial settlement from his divorce from Heather Mills. He even said that my biggest mistake was marrying Heather Mills. The hearing of the family division, which was taking place in private, was expected to last 5 days. The couple, who had a 4-year-old daughter, Beatrice, announced the end of their 4-year marriage in 2006. There had been speculation among divorce experts based on recent court case that the settlement could reach $100 million. I think it exceeded that. Oh, Paul, what are you going to do, buddy? That's a learning lesson for you. Marry someone that's there for the money. Well, you'll have that. You'll have that. Hey, look, more Phil Spector, the murderer news. Estelle Bennett of the Ronettes died in Inglewood, New Jersey in 2009. She was with the girl group from producer and murderer Phil Spector. She had the 1963 hit Be My Baby, which epitomized the famed wall of sound technique. The Ronettes opened for the Beatles on their 1966 tour, becoming the only girl group to tour with them before splitting up in 1967. Be my baby. Now this one, I had to look for this a few more times just to make sure, because everyone said accidental drowning. 2012, Whitney Houston was found dead in the suite 434 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Could have been the Overlook Hotel, found dead in the bathtub, submerged in the bathtub. Beverly Hills paramedics arrived at approximately 3:30 p.m. and found the singer unresponsive and performed CPR. Houston was pronounced dead at 3:55 p.m. That's a short amount of time. I was a medic, so she was way dead after pronouncing her dead 25 minutes later. Local police said there was no obvious signs of criminal intent. Well, maybe you need to find those guys that were digging up Kurt Cobain. Maybe they could find something. It was later ruled by the coroner to have been an accidental drowning. How do you accidentally drown? I guess unless you're loaded on barbiturates or something. I mean, I don't know. Put me underwater. I'm going to be like, that's me, right? Accidental. At 3:30 in the afternoon. Who's drowning at 3:30 in the afternoon accidentally or on purpose? I'm just saying. I don't know. Anyway, she influenced many singers and was known for her powerful, soulful vocals, vocal improvisation skills, use of gospel singing techniques in pop music and live performances. She had 11 number one singles on the Billboard Hot 100 and is the only artist to have 7 consecutive number one singles on the chart. Whitney, R.I.P. on this day in 2012. Queen on this day in 2014, February the 11th, made UK chart history by becoming the first act to sell 6 million copies of an individual album. Their first greatest hits collection, which included the hits We Will Rock You and Bohemian Rhapsody, had extended its lead by being British's highest selling album for several years. The official charts company said 1 in 3 British families now owns a copy of the 1981 compilation. Okay, that's actually pretty good. 1 in 3 to own your music? All right. Yeah, I know. Accidental. That's, Again, middle of the afternoon, accidental. Just saying. Winners of the 2023 Brit Awards held at the O2 Arena in London included Harry Styles, who won British Album of the Year for Harry's House, British Artist of the Year, and Song of the Year for As It Was, and Best Pop R&B Act. Damn, Brit. Harry in love. Who's in love with Harry? British Group and Best New Artist went to Wet Leg. Yes. They are so good. Oh, I want to see them this summer again for sure. We had those guys come and play, and they were so fun. But yeah, Wet Leg, they definitely have blown way the fuck up. Best Rock Alternative Act went to the 1975. Always good to see those guys. International Group of the Year went to the Fontaines DC. Again, definitely a good band. Fontaines DC, really good. And Beyonce, I don't know, not a fan. Don't listen. Won International of the Year and Best International Song for Break My Soul. But yes, Fontaines DC, go for it. Wet Leg, absolutely. 1975, yeah, all 3 I'm going to go with. That they are definitely the way to do it. A guy named Randy Sparks died, whatever. He also wrote Saturday Night in Toledo, Ohio, which was recorded and made famous by John Denver. So there you go. I don't really know Randy Sparks. I don't know every Randy. I know some, but not that one. Oh, and now lastly, before I get on to the whole births and deaths things, I guess just happened. We just found out that tributes being paid to Pogue's drummer and founding member Andrew the Clobberer Rankin. Rankin was the founding member of the iconic folk group, helping bring the first lineup together in 1983. He acted as the drummer for the band for all their studio albums and live shows until their first hiatus in 1996. His time in the role earned him the nickname the Clobberer. He also occasionally took on vocal duties for the group. News of his passing was shared today by his bandmates, and in a post on their official social media page, the band shared that he had died at the age of 72. Andrew Rankin, drummer and founding member and the heartbeat of the Pogues, basically passed at this day. So, you know, you got to love the Pogues. So, sad to see that. You know, it is. You know, Fontaines DC definitely are carrying that torch, though. So, you know, like I said, they're kind of that way. So, worth finding out about Fontaines DC. Born on this day, Eva Gabor. We just talked about Jaja because Jaja's birthday was February the 6th. And I guess she's 2 years younger. So they were sisters. There was 3 of them. Jaja is the one who slapped the cop. Eva is the one that was Lisa Douglas in Green Acres. Yes, darling. She would have been 107 years old today. She died in 95. Conrad Janis. He was in Mork and Mindy. He died in 22. He would have been 98 today. Bobby Boris Pickett. He wrote the Monster Mash. He would have been 88 years old today. He did the mash. He did the Monster Mash. Alan Rubin, Mr. Fabulous from the Blues Brothers and Saturday Night Live. He would have been 83 today. He died in 11. H.R. or Paul D. Hudson from Bad Brains, 70 today. Sheryl Crow, 64 today. Pete Haynes of Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, 50. Like those guys. Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park, 49. Leslie Nielsen would have been 100 years old today. Oh, he died 10. Died in 10, so he died at 85. Tina Louise Ginger from Gilligan's Island, still on the island, 92 years old today. Good job, Tina Louise. Burt Reynolds would have been 90 years old today. Burt Reynolds from everything from Deliverance to Gator to Blow to shit, you name it. Burt was in everything. Cannonball Run. He died in 18. And Jennifer Aniston, 57. Burt Reynolds, right? Tina Louise, yes, I know. Well, you know, it was a graveyard smash. It was. It was the Monster Mash. Yes, Burt Reynolds, Jennifer Aniston, Tina Louise, all of those. What are you questioning, dumbass? What is it that you're questioning? That they have birthdays? And then who died on this day? Well, a couple of rock stars I talked about, but Sorrel Brooks, Boss Hogg from Dukes of Hazzard. He died in 1994 at the age of 64. Smokey and the Bandit. Yes, Smokey and the Bandit, for sure. William Conrad, who was the voice of Rocky and Bullwinkle. He died in 94 as well at the age of 73. And then, of course, Whitney. But yeah, Smokey and the Bandit. Come on, Burt Reynolds was great. He was one of those guys that, you know, the Longest Yard, the original one. I mean, you know, he was, you know, A-list actor for sure. Definitely, you know, that guy. You know, and I think he came from Michigan too. You know, I always thought he was from down south, but he was actually, I believe, a Michigan born and raised. So, but yeah, there you go. You know, Kurt Cobain did not take his own life. It was, in fact, murder, according to these guys. Britney Spears sold all her shit and made a lot of money. Pogue's drummer, you know, he passed. And then we had all sorts of other fun stuff that went on, you know, so that's the way it goes. The Clobberer. Andrew the Clobberer Rankin. So, yeah, you know, that's what happens. We move on with our lives. Yes. Yeah, he was in the remake too. Yep. Did someone open up a chorus? Exactly, right? Exactly. That's it. That was the original premise behind it. Smokey and the Bandit had to get Coors from the west to the east. Someone was going to spend a lot of money to get Coors here. I remember when Coors, the banquet of beers, it was a big deal to get it on the East Coast. Growing up in New Jersey, what's a Coors, man? We don't know what a Coors is. Rolling Rock. That was the thing, Rolling Rock. That was your cheap beer. PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbons. I remember there was a giant brewery right in like Irvington, New Jersey. You saw it from the Garden State Parkway. They had a giant Pabst Blue Ribbon bottle that you could see from the highway. It was like their smokestack. But yeah, it definitely was Rolling Rock. That was like the cheap shit beer. Rolling Rock from Latrobe. I think that's what we stole from Mr. McCutcheon's garage. Jenny Pounders, absolutely Jenny Pounders, yes, for sure, Jenny Pounders. Yeah, we had my neighbor, Mr. McCutcheon, rest in peace, Mr. McCutcheon. Oh, I also forgot, birthdays today, Nostradamus, born on this day. Had to throw that shout out in there for the official shout out. But yes, no, we had a neighbor, Mr. McCutcheon. He was a school teacher. And he was the guy that, he went bowling every Saturday night. He was the dude's dude. He was like the basketball coach. Buddy was his name, Buddy McCutcheon. Bud, everyone called him Buddy. But he had the fridge that he always leave the garage door open. So, the kids were always stealing the beer out of his fridge. And he knew it. He would just restock it and never say shit. He didn't care. Just, as long as we weren't wreaking havoc, he was fine with it. One of those sort of like, clearly he knew that they were missing because I didn't drink that. Never said a word. Just would restock the fridge and, that's the kind of neighbors that you want growing up, the ones that leave the beers in the fridge and just, as long as you don't take too many, you steal an occasional one here and there. It's good to go. But that was then. This is now. You do that now, what's going to wind up happening? Someone's going to get drunk. They're going to ask where you got the beer from. We stole it from Mr. McCutcheon's garage, and then the police are going to come knocking on the door and be like, "Sir, you're under arrest for contributing to the delinquency of a minor." I mean, am I wrong? I'm just saying, that's the way it's going to work. Someone's going to have to deal with that because it's not going to be, the kid's not going to get in trouble. Oh, well, he was just exposed to bad influence because there was a refrigerator in a garage across the street that was left unattended with alcohol in it. Just saying. Oh, shit. What are you going to do, right? Oh, man. All right. Well, I've had a week, so I'm going to continue to have a week. Right. Contributing. Exactly. That's exactly it. Contributing. That's exactly what it would be. I am not wrong in that respect. That someone has to be responsible. It can't just be dumb kids. I mean, someone had to influence them. Take a little responsibility. That's all I'm telling you. So, yeah, so I've had a week so far. It's been an interesting week. I dealt with the police and guns on Monday. And, no, you're not. Right. And, so dealt with that on Monday. Had to deal with security companies and stuff on Tuesday. Had to deal with a broken key today. Influence. Exactly. Very much so. And it's been one of those weeks. It's all just, like I said, is Mercury in retrograde? Somebody, come on, tell it. Someone who's one of these, someone involved in astrology that knows this. Please tell me where the phases of something, because something's amiss at the moment. I'm not sure what it is. I need to go move the horseshoe hanging above my door upside down, right side up, hold the luck, pour out the luck. What do I need to do here? I need a little change of a venue for me. Right? Exactly. Yeah, that too. Oh, yeah, for sure. The real deal, too. That's how that goes, my friends. That's how it goes. What are you going to do, right? We just do. Google says February 26th, March 20th. Okay, so we're not even there yet. So this is pre-Mercury retrograde? Oh, great. First retrograde is February 26th. So we're not even in it yet. Oh, craps. Right, not even there. Well, I got that to look forward to in 15 days. I was holding my breath for the next 2 weeks then, I guess. Maybe it has the opposite effect. You know, maybe that's how it works. Maybe it's the opposite effect. It's opposite day. I don't know. I just don't know. Normal stuff? What's normal? Couldn't tell you. All right. Well, I'm going to let all you fine humans get back to your fine humaning and our regularly scheduled programs of life. And I'm going to continue to drink my tea so that I can get some sleep tonight. Slept like shit last night, like absolute crap. I have no idea. Maybe it was the fact that I, am concerned that I have people break into my fucking building again. That could be it. You never know. I mean, who knows why I would be stressed out about stuff like that, right? Whatever. Oh, shit. What'd I just do? Oh, there it is. I'm like, whoops. Opposite year. It could be opposite year. Oh, that definitely could be that. It's whatever. It's whatever at this point. I just, I'm just holding on at this point. Just, I always explain that I'm a big analogy person, okay? I mentally visualize everything. Absolutely, no dumbass. Absolutely, brother. Gotta take care of the peeps. You guys are, do a dog. J-Dale, Mr. Dumbass. You guys hanging out. I'm always happy to say hello and shout out. And love having conversations. Brendan just jumped in. That's my whole bread and butter here. Having conversations and saying hello to you guys for being here. That's, it makes me not just be talking to myself. Because otherwise that's what I'm doing. I'm literally talking to nobody. That's always said was the hardest job for DJs. They had to literally have zero interaction. So they didn't get to see if they put a joke out there, they couldn't see if it landed or not. There was no two-way interaction. So it's a lot harder than people think to do it every day and to be on and to create something where, do they know it's working or not? They can only find out later by looking at the ratings. So what are you going to do, right? But anyway, so that's where it's at. But I always visualize things. For some reason, I always create pictures in my head of scenarios. And I always say that every event, everything is like Sisyphus pushing a rock up the hill, for eternity. But I always think of it as, it's a car out of gas. You're pushing the car out of gas up the hill. And, if you stop, it rolls back over you. So you can't stop. You got to keep going. And when it gets to the top of the hill, the car kind of teeters for a second, and then it starts to go down the hill. And think about that. It has no gas, so it's not running. If you've ever been in a car that isn't running, it has no power steering, it has no power brakes. So you can't really make sharp turns, and you can't really stop it. You can stand on the brakes, and it kind of wants to stop, but not really. So you can stand there and watch the car go down the hill. There's cross traffic, there's people, there's dogs, there's cats, there's things. You can grab onto the bumper and it's going to drag your ass down the hill because it's going. You weigh, $180 and it weighs 2.5 tons. So you're not stopping it that way. So the only thing you can do is jump behind the wheel and hold on for dear life. You can adjust the steering wheel slightly, maybe so you don't get T-boned. You still might crash, but it's going down to the bottom of the hill because gravity wins. And you can tap the brakes, maybe hit the horn, but battery's not running, so maybe it doesn't even go beep. But, it's happening. It's happening. So hold on and enjoy the ride. It's all you can do. So that's it, man. Right, exactly. Jesus, take the wheel. There it is. Jesus, take the wheel. Well, on that note, you all take the wheel, all right? That's all I ask for anybody. Just take the wheel. Have a good one. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Grateful that you're here and interacting. We're having fun because that's all I need is just to laugh once in a while. That's all we need too. Someone to laugh with us. Appreciate you. Have a great one. Look for you tomorrow. Do it all again, but different. Fade to black. Whew. Have a good night, y'all.